interesting thing to kind of look at, because that always dictates the tempo. You look at different bans we've had. You think of Habana being very common, Fermi as well, Maverick, obvious one, I think, and even Thatcher at stages we've seen be banned.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, we talked briefly about hard destruction ban on the previous one. SSG are the ones that are going to take out Maverick this time round, and to be fair, they used him a bit, but so did Nora-Rengo. So I think they're just going to kind of say, well, let's control this. The removal of Nomad, I think, from Nora-Rengo makes a bit of sense, because they were playing an aggressive game there.
But is it Nomad's best map that you think you could ban her on? Heck no. You look at other maps like Consulate that she really fits into the whole jump out mechanics of windows. There's not a lot of window play on this particular map, and I think perhaps banning away a hard breacher would probably do the defense a lot better, because whenever I see Habana and Fermi available, first of all, it gives your basement so much opportunities to really carry out pushes. You have then 3 hatches and then also 2 walls you can get off. It makes taking control of the cash room. You can open up the breach. You can go over and open up the garage using Habana pellets. I think there's so much things that the attackers then gain from having double hard breach. And if I don't see double hard breach, I'll be very surprised.
That's the thing. It's such a wide map. It's such a wide selection of kind of sites as well, and the ability to break your way through them is... well, it's pretty integral for, obviously, any team strategy, but it's pretty par for the course to bring the Hubble Dart destruction?
The Hubble
Dart
double.
destruction. Wow, it's still early here, apparently.
Another thing interesting as well is that we are seeing both Echo and Maestro be available. That is a deadly combination, because not only do you need to bring some soft destruction or like a Thatcher to eliminate Maestro turrets, but now you kind of also need to add in an IQ, I think.
It's just... you look at the ban of Mirror, and it's always a little bit confusing for this kind of map. Because, yeah, there's a couple of places you can play a pretty good Mirror, but every single point plays well for Echo and Maestro. Like you're arguably not going to bring both of them. They can both do the role, but at least force a choice here. Obviously, they're never going to ban Maestro, because that is a big SSG operator. So
yeah,
they've kind of left Echo on the board there. Maybe they just know Nora-Rengo on big Echo players. Either way, there's still a lot left to them to kind of have in their arsenal there, and the ability to start to collapse and close down. One thing it's worth noting as well is when SSG played this on defense, and what we saw from a few NA teams is on their basement defense, they got really aggressive.
Yeah, I think for Clubhouse as a whole in towards NA, they were, I think, very big meta setters for this map in particular. I think back to kind of year 2, where we had Evil Geniuses. Mira was like a very dominant operator for them, where we'd have like the double Mira windows looking in towards triple wall. You even think about the Thatcher bans was first started here because of NA.
Well, droning their way down, and obviously they've instantly found the opening frag just before Fault's taking care of Yoshi, who had a really good game on the previous map and was one of 2 shining lights.
Give us a Yoshi impression?
Now I'm thinking about it, and now I kind of forget. It's like Yoshi. It's like that, isn't it?
You actually did it.
Thank you. I've probably got it really wrong. There's gonna be loads of Nintendo fans in the audience that are like, "How dare you mess that up?" But I'm sorry. I'm ill if you haven't been able to notice. Setting themselves up now as they start to utilize this double hard destruction. This is one of the things SSG, when they had a bit of confidence, were very good at. The pace and the speed at kind of collapsing down against the point. Mainly saw in the basement of Bank, and we're seeing it on the basement of this map so far. Rampy cracking open the egg from the kitchen and trying to see if there is anything left.
SSG playing the way that they play, and it's very slow, methodical. They have their first opening pick, they have their flank protection, and now it's just a matter of fact of getting all of the prep work done. This is Basement Clubhouse. This is where we talk about the basement massacre, the bloodbath battle that always takes place here, where in the final dying seconds of the round, everything just kind of froze up onto the screen. And probably for SSG, I think they're going to try and play that way again, try and prioritize going for the plant. Curious, though, to see if they're going to try and go for like the kitchen armory, or will he go for the triple wall? The way they're geared up and 3 players in the kitchen hatch, this looks to be a B plant.
Well, they're dropping in the flashes, and the bodies are hitting the floor just as quickly. Canadian getting himself down on the default as Mary tries to rotate down, gets shot by Thinking Nade, and it's all down to Billy to come back via Dirt. He is completely surrounded, however, and finds no ground. SSG with the flawless, the pace, and the precision we saw from them across this bank.
Really surprising that in this matchup there was Habana and Fermite both being allowed to let through. Because it just makes the basement 10 times easier for the attackers.
Yeah.
It just does.
Looks like they're going to up. Not they originally chose the basement there, but they're going to swap to CCTV instead. I think that's a bit of a wise move, and it's one they actually did on the previous map. Is when they lost the first basement point, they then swapped over to a different one, won it, got their 3 in the row, keep themselves kind of moving and hot. Look at the beautiful kill spread there from SSG. Every single person got 1 kill. That's the dream
ace.
That's the dream team ace. That is. No one cares about player aces. It's the team ace that I like.
I think the players care. I think the players care.
I say this as a support player. The team ace, guys.
Nah, you're
never forget the team ace.
I just think you're starting to try and fill time here, Flook.
No, I'm just trying to give a shout out to all my fellow support players in the world.
You dreaming again?
Yeah. Setting themselves up to try and ult Stevie. This is often a first pick for a lot of teams nowadays. It's one of those ones, depending on bans, obviously, but it's one of those ones that just allows you a bit more control over the kind of fluidity. The thing about this map that might not be able to play to Nora-Rengo's favor as it can in Bank was Bank has a lot more possibilities of quick rotations, whereas on Clubhouse it's a little bit more heavy, a little bit more, everything takes a bit more effort to pull off, and you've always got to take a bit more of a wider swing and a wider route through bigger rooms, or you know, kind of more claustrophobic tight staircases into garage, into the kind of back stairs where you still got another 5 or 6 rooms to get through. And there's a lot of places for SSG, who we know are excellent angle holders, to hold angles and just shut down any of that kind of gameplay.
For me, I think that we're just going to see SSG bring the exact same lineup of operators every single round. Because realistically, Flook, you look at those 5, all of those attackers are great for every single bomb site. And on Clubhouse, where we know the defense has a lot of things going for them in terms of their bomb sites, you look at in towards the cash room, it's, you know, what you kind of said, it's very narrow, very tight, and for the attackers to really break it down, we never really see kills be the deciding factor. It's all about prioritizing the plant, isn't it? That's the big thing about this bomb site, is trying to get your way in towards the blind spot, in towards the server rack. Nobody in their right mind ever puts the game plan saying, we're going to try and kill everybody inside a B-bomb, because generally, you're never going to get that close. There's a lot of cover, a lot of objects there, the bomb chassis, you have the kind of table as well in the middle through them. A lot of things you kind of have to look out for. And in a siege where you could sit in, you look at Bank Lobby, there's 100 different positions you have to look out for.
I know you said you don't want any singing, Elastics, but I have been dancing every time a bandwave has come.
I don't mind singing, just not that silly little SSG thing.
About the rocket ship?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to message Stokes. I'm going to ask him for the words. Papilia is going for an aggressive run out there, but Volts just takes it apart and finds another Claymore. Takes care of Yoshi, and, well, this is the play that is now being controlled by SSG. They're aware of Nora-Rengo's shenanigans. They're on a map. They're more comfortable and confident on their attack because they are so dominant on Clubhouse. And every Nora-Rengo body is falling right now.
Really rough position now for Nora-Rengo to be put into. Mariu completely trapped out. Just all left to the Echo. No time to go on his Yokai. Does eliminate Faults. Oh, a great snap on the Bosco, but really in the long game, doesn't matter. No, the diffuser's been planted right in the middle of the bomb site. And all it takes is SSG now to back away, hold their angles. And this should be, yet again, another simple round for themselves, and tries to peek on in, but the man in Jim has those angles locked and loaded. And Flook, Space Station, their attacks already so dominant.
2 plants in a row. Obviously, that's 3 plants for the entire day, but to bring it off one after the other so confidently and so consistently, and it looks like they're still just heating up. So obviously, it was a great swing there for them to be able to pull the bodies back, but outside of that, well, then things started to kind of, just, it's par for the course for SSG. And in a way, that's what we expected from this map. Because it's their map to lose this. They're such a good Clubhouse team. They're such a consistent Clubhouse team. And Nora-Rengo haven't had that same consistency that SSG have had here.
Yeah, I think for Nora, they're a little bit lost at the moment. Because if you look at SSG, the way they're playing, a very coordinated team. To tear apart those particular mindsets, you need to try and play aggressive. You need to try and get the first opening pick. Try and slow them down as much as you can. If you kind of look at Bank, example, for Nora, whenever they did go out of their way and got those opening kills and got important kills onto certain specific players, SSG, they stumbled over each other. They didn't really know what to do from that point on. And for Nora, though, for that particular jump out, run out kind of thing we've seen happen, yes, they tried to coordinate, similar to what we see from LATAM teams, where they would literally try and jump out at the same time, have a coordinated jump out. Granted, SSG, they read it well. If Nora did make that successful, we would have seen a different round outcome, that's for sure. But I don't know, Flick, do you keep trying to push the aggressive agenda? Because if you do try and push the aggressive agenda and it doesn't work, it's just going to be easy rounds for SSG. But then at the same time, do you just sit back and let them carry out these very well-coordinated attacks?
I mean, it's the worry here. Because what we complimented them on in Bank was the aggression, was the swinging round, was the ability to find those rotations. But SSG, not only are they much wiser to it now, and they're proving that, they're also on a map which doesn't play as well to that as Bank does. They're creeping their way closer to a man on the door of Strip, waiting for a run out, but Rampy is completely aware of Mario's plan, and Bosco, in the meantime, yet again, opens the bodies for SSG. First, Mario has gone for a run out, but there's no fish to catch.
Papilia getting caught off by the very standard Habana pellets. Right in towards the garage wall, looks up in towards the window. Him getting caught up by that, that's really sloppy. We don't expect that from the history of this team. Nora, they know what they're doing. They've been on the biggest stage in the world, for goodness sake, and they're still getting caught up by very simple things. We worry now, Flick, we really do.
Well, they're starting to rotate their way around, and SSG are getting a bit more drone information before they start their collapse. They have been very, very good with this so far, and it's nice to see them keep the same kind of pace and pepper. In the meantime, Nora-Rengo, they're not throwing their lives away as consistently, and Marvi finds one, but Nade is quick to return a favor, taking care of Raysil. The bolts are on the top, and, well, there's a bit of garage control, and there's a little bit more as Rampy starts to ramp it up. I'm sorry, but Yoshi is gone now, and it's down to the double M's of Marvi and Meryu.
I'm really sad you said that, because I was going to use wrap up later in this matchup, so you beat me to it, so fair play. But let's see if Nora can try and beat SSG to it and try and hold down as much as they can. Meryu has to be the first man up, is really Echo. He's below, he's not doing much, and there's the Capitão smoke bolts. It was banned in Bank, and oh, the EMP catches that C4, and surely that would have been deadly to the planter. Diffuser down, and at this stage, I don't know what Nora can do to retake. The fire bolts fired in. Mavi now has to work 10 times harder to pick up the slack from the rest of his team, but I don't think SSG are going to let an easy round slip. And no, just SSG dominant. That's the word that we can only use to describe this team.
Yeah, it's so collected, so calm, and in a way, so SSG on Clubhouse. Everything has been beat for beat. They've been able to just get control the way they want, whether they're a little bit quicker, as we saw on their first CCTV take, or a little bit slower to get all the information we need. On the second CCTV take, it doesn't matter. Either way, it's the same end result. The diffuser's down, they have the man advantage by a good 2 or 3, and it's just a matter of being able to hold the angles and hold control.
Just really surprised that Nora let this map go through. Because if I was looking at it, I would have banned Clubhouse straight away.
Yeah.
You look at the close calls, what they did to teams in this map.
Marvi,
they terrorized them.
The only one able to find bodies over 3 rounds, has found 4 kills, and that is the entirety of the damage done by Nora-Rengo this game so far. And we talked about the ability to come back on the previous map. This is a much more severe situation for Nora-Rengo.
And SSG still get the defense as well. So many things look right now for SSG that just looks so peachy. So Nora, in towards the basement they go. Brought the Maestro, brought the Echo. Echo for this bomb site, I feel, doesn't do a whole lot. Because if you look at where he would kind of be playing in as an anchor position, you would expect right beside the triple wall in church, right in behind those kind of boxes. But kind of the way meta is shifted, 9 times out of 10, we see that triple wall be pressured in some shape. We see it be opened up by Thermite. We sometimes see Habana rotate down to main stairs, create a feet hole level so you can kill people inside a church. Yep. If Echo's trying to stop the plant, how is he going to do that if he's getting constantly pressured in the position he's in?
That's the thing, and that's what SSG is so good at doing, is just applying that pressure. Applying it consistently, applying it kind of flatly across the entire ground, and then against these kind of individual players as well. So far, all we've really seen from Nora-Rengo is their players, if they're not roaming and kind of unnecessary to what's going on, they're being consistently pushed out of location of where they want to hold. They're missing that cover that we've seen so far. You break the balance of who's covering who in Nora-Rengo. And with their movement-based playstyle, it's hard to keep that on a consistent lock. Here's Yoshi trying to find a strike, but Rampy's going to rotate around the back. Might not catch the man, and he doesn't. Yoshi opens up the frags for the first time. The first body falls in the favor of Nora-Rengo.
That's what Nora need. They need to take out specific players and specific operators who work wonders for SSG. That soft destruction, that was their main go-to form of alleviating the pressure in towards the kitchen, being able to just control everything going in or coming out of that, and more importantly, gives them that entry in towards their plant spot, in towards the kitchen. Nora, though, they do lose Yoshi in the return fire, and SSG, you can already see SSG lost a man, and their pace has significantly slowed down, majorly.
Mariu is holding up, and I really like the Echo drone. It's a big piece of utility for a kind of collapse there, but if it can work wonders. Faults, in the meantime, is steadily digging his way closer towards the point. They have the man watching the main stairs window, and, well, they're just going to try and leave that. They can let them have control, and Snade is just going to hold on, and, you know, they're going to let the rest of SSG find a way through, and it's a lot of time to dedicate right now, and a lot of operators, and you've got to trust everyone. But no, it seems like everybody is coming to try and shut this down. They're not going to waste time, and they accidentally shoot each other, maybe. No, there is the kill. It looked like a little bit of a crossfire there.
Yeah, it definitely was. Bosco had the quick reactions, but was actually on his own teammate rather than the bandit. But hey, he made up for it. He got the kill. But still, though, False and Bosco now, they have to be wary, because they're on very low HP, and Maestro turret's still there. We could see a couple of zaps coming in from the Evil Eye, and that could be all she wrote for two players of SSG. Echo upstairs with the drone just stuns them. For what reason? I don't know. And now both of them, they've kind of rotated in towards the Arsenal room and B-bombs. Like, so Church is completely free right now for SSG to walk in and go for a successful plant. This is strange from Nora.
It looks like SSG might be aware
Triple wall.
of it. They're going to hit Trip, and they're just going to try and get control. If Raysil swings wide with this LMG now, he could be monumental, and there it is! The diffuser carrier is gone! The hard destruction is cold! There's so much damage done on the sides of SSG! The two bodies left, find another 1-2-2 in 10 seconds! Bosco pulling a trap out, and Nade is on the ground. It's a 2-1, and this is the first round in the favor of SSG, surely!
Nora finally get around, and, well, it was down to Space Station being very low in HP, and it was very simple then for Nora just to start picking. They have those heavies out of the back nice and stocked up and all that health, and that LMG. How many times have we seen that come in clutch?
Oh, unbelievably so. It was the swing.
Still
it was
the best gun, I think, for defense.
You
by
know that
country
someone's
mile.
going to hold that. You know that someone's going to be... If that is soft, they're going to try and shoot through it. That's just standard play, and... You know, I guess they spent a lot of drones and a lot of time. I said that would be the first one. That was obviously the first one for Nora-Rengo. I'm sorry, I got so excited because Nora-Rengo went around.
And also another thing is those goo mines.
Yep.
Those goo mines stopped the approach from the Habana coming down from blue. You know, if she was not caught by the goo mine and she was able to get in there 5 seconds before and being able to eliminate both Maestro and Echo, that could have been the game changer. So, again, those goo mines showing how dominant they can be in the late game to try and stop those quick rotations, and it does put a lot of pressure. If you know you're up against the Legion, and he's been alive the entire game, there's 7 goo mines you need to go through.
The thing is, as well, if they hadn't have used all their drones against the top floor, against the man there, yeah, they got the kill, and they took a little bit of damage for it, but they also lost all of that intel that we know SSG use consistently. It's not that they have it as a crutch, it's not that they use it badly or good, it's just that they use it, and they use it before they push. They never really face check, they drone check, they hot drone each other. And if they had one more drone able to tell them that nobody's in Church Arsenal, they would have probably just aggressively pushed from Moto straight through onto the point to take control that way. Otherwise, they never, like that. For me, that's the moment where if they had that little bit of information, that could have been their round as well. 3-1, though, we sit on Nora-Rengo. That's the second time in a row they've lost the first 3 rounds and then pulled one back in pretty nail-biting style. But can they find a little bit more of their previous half in bank than the first, where they ended up on that dreaded 5-1 split?
SSG, they're still just bringing a very standard lineup. Nothing really out of the ordinary. The only thing that we've seen they've changed is the Capital for the Buck switch, which simply I think is just down to them knowing that they're going to go up against like a Church, and then they bring the Buck for that particular reason. But then, whenever they know Church is done, they can't go there again. So now they're going to have to go for a top floor. Capital's the perfect operator. Mariu, successful bandit trick. We don't see that happen often, so SSG caught slacking a little bit there. They tried to fire in through the Sophia stuns, but I don't know, Canadian going for the left wall instead of the right one is, I think it's just personal preference, what you want to kind of take control. Me, I would always go right side.
Especially as they have Rampy on the Capital. All
Yeah.
they have to do there...
Catwalk's not an issue if you have Capital.
Yeah, but like, there's so much area of control that they could have got there. Yoshi is trying to be aggressive against the window, but Fultz is going to take it at long range, and they have the Maestro cam as well to be able to feed any information of anyone that might be peeking. I'm not really... It's not a common Maestro camera, that, to be able to kind of get the beat and the bead, and I think it just got destroyed either way, but Papilia is still holding on, puts down another ADS. They're fresh and they're baiting any of that carnage that they can, and yeah, again, SSG, they've slowed a little bit.
I hope Rampy still has one more arrow, because they kind of need that to get rid of the man inside a catwalk, because that is going to be their next step now. This is atypical of what really a clubhouse cash room attack is. You open up the main breach, it creates that section, so anybody in catwalk, they stay in catwalk. Anybody trying to rotate in to help the guy in catwalk, they can't do that, because there's going to be a man holding the breach. Bosco now just weary that somebody may be in towards the motorcycles, but gives the okay clear out. We're only just seeing the Habana pallets also open up in towards that garage wall, and really at this stage, though, SSG a minute to go, they do need to get a bit of a move on, if I'm being honest.
I think this is the longest time to kill we've had.
It has been. They were rapid the last time, weren't they?
Oh, yeah, very rapid, and granted, it came from some Nora-Rengo run-outs and jump-outs, but it seems like Nora are learning. They're learning that that playstyle isn't quite working, and there is that Capital bolt that you called for, shut down and doubled up by Thinking Nade. Again, the over-the-shoulder shooting and utility usage has been pitch perfect for SSG so far. Mariu takes a lot of damage, but is able to rotate to a bit of safety and freedom, and with only 25 seconds, they know the collapse has got to come. Not sure what Raystil intended to do there with that Maestro cam, but it didn't quite work either way, and well, now it's just a matter of trying to push and strong-arm their way into the point. Suffers damage everywhere, but Canadian has found himself in the default plant spot. There is another one for Raystil, and there is another one for Raystil. Double kill. Now they've got to swing round. Gets the man with the diffuser. That is what you needed. He's down on the floor, and you are out of time, SSG.
Oh my! Raystil, you madman! Again, Nora with the wide swings, the big LMG, shuts it all down. SSG caught lacking. They were sleeping.
That's 3 rounds. It was a diffuser. And now 2 rounds, it's been time. There hasn't been a single round on this map so far that's ended because of just somebody killing everybody. It's been objective-based, purely. The defenders, how they've slowed the pace down of what Nora-Rengo were attempting and how monumental that change has been so far is just evident in how the past 2 rounds have gone. Yes, it's scrappy, and yes, it's a worry, but they have read that SSG have this habit of slowing down, and they are making them just go to a crawl.
Weaknesses in SSG. Like, honestly, Fluke, everything that SSG has done, their early game, their mid-phase, all of that control they had to do has been perfect. But the main thing that SSG have struggled with is that finish line, is finally pushing it over to make absolutely flawless rounds. We've seen, what, 3 flawless rounds from them already today?
Yeah.
That's a big number already put in. And I don't know, SSG just struggling at the last bit. Just a bit like NA, really, any major tournament.
Just think about how confident their first round on this map was as well. How brutal their shutdown was. It was a flawless. They were so clean and so coordinated. And then it's just fallen off a little bit. And they're struggling to find and control the wild play style of Nora-Rengo. And it just kind of, you know, yeah. And if you're in the 6-1 split, as we were on Bank, it's a situation where you have a couple of those rounds as breathing room to be able to get a bit more lockdown and control. If we're in this situation now, where we're seeing them potentially leaning to a 3-3 split here, it could work pretty well for Nora-Rengo.
Next up now will be the gym and bedroom. We haven't seen this one yet from Nora, and, well, they have to go here because they're forced to. They already defended church, and as we just seen, that cache was there. So, new battlegrounds for both these teams. Already, Bosco down to extremely low HP with a bit of a confrontation, trying to get a little bit frisky and look for an opening kill. And look at this setup, look, from Nora. They're extending in towards the cache room, bringing the alibi along with a deployable shield to give them the peeker's advantage on the main breach. We see, yes, we see cache rooms, but really never with a shield or an alibi.
I love how aggressive Yoshi is being. They have obviously Papilia down on those red stairs, ready to swing against anyone that might pop in. But again, the roll is being slowed from SSG. They haven't found a body yet, and Bosco's taken a huge amount of damage, and there goes Volts, and Rampy finds Yoshi. 2 sudden trades, but the instant cover here. They're responding with more aggression. A beautiful throw. Kobe'd to, well, just another dimension there as they slowly and steadily push across. But as I said before, Marvi has come to fill a gap.
Bosco in low HP has to watch himself as, maybe just tried to make the play, but sadly got shot down. That's your Echo gone. And, well, granted, credit to Mary-U. He's still trying to get those refrags. And if you look at it, Bosco and Finky they are not looking too good with their HP status, and that could be an easy pickoff for a Maestro turret, and just really for Mary-U or Racel to use their main guns.
Yeah, just a quick spray through a lot of the walls, a lot of the corners, and when you're in a situation where you've got to kind of enter a place, and yes, it's reflexes, but you know, your headshot percentage is very different to your body shot. It doesn't take much to take those two out of this game so far. They're holding angles. And that's one of the things that we've said Nora-Rengo have been good, is just that kind of rabid aggression, hitting back against the push that they're seeing come through. Drops the drone, instantly moves, is probably going to wide swing this because why not? Let's go for it. Doesn't, misreads it, but still finds the double. He is on a quad kill. Might find the ace. Canadian shuts him down and brings it to a 1-1. And there is Nora-Rengo 3-3 on the split.
Mary-U, unbelievable. Flick, didn't I tell you about this guy? What did I tell you?
You told me he's unbelievable.
I told you he's good.
Hey.
Start listening to me.
I am well aware of the skills of the work of Mary-U. And as I said in the first map, he is the talisman player. There's no two ways about it, because he has this ability to just keep finding bodies over and over again, even when the situation isn't quite in his favor. Yes, now he's on 5 kills, and 4 of them were in the previous round, but it was a situation that was looking progressively more hopeless, and he just wide swings into it. He doesn't hold back, and SSG don't have a response for that playstyle, because they drone, they go, he's here, and then suddenly he's not.
And that's the kind of playstyle that Nora has, is that explosiveness. You can't really play against somebody just doing what Mary-U did. How can you prep for that?
You can't.
Just someone constantly peeking. You know, the annoyance factor. You know, probably I think if you ask SSG who was the most annoying player to play against, well, I'd probably say Yoshi on the Skylight and Bank, because I kind of felt their own pain, because it's happened to me plenty of times before. I'm sure everybody watching at home, you felt that pain of getting killed in the Skylight by a guy sitting there with still 50 seconds to go.
Yep. It's a confusing death for a lot of reasons. But 3-3 on a split. SSG opened with power, and Nora-Rengo have responded with just a fever dream of murder here. And now they've got to try and replicate that across their attacks, being quite quick to shut it down. Now, this is one of the things I said before. When we've seen NA hold this basement point, they go very tall with it. All the way up to gym, they'll throw castles in open, and they'll just try and take as much time until it is possible.
You think about SSG, where they kind of started the old holding bar with castle barricades, having hatches open in towards the bar to drop back in the moto. They kind of started this trend. SSG, they like their own game. We've seen this being shown quite a lot during the close calls, didn't we? We think, well, they were one of the first teams we've seen be broadcast. It wasn't Clubhouse. They were doing stuff like this. They were having those strategies that worked to charm. And I think against Nora, where they're probably not accustomed to playing against different teams, just obviously with the situation with APAC, where they can't scrim just like any other region. You're region locked to where you are. And it could be a bit of a shock for Nora if they haven't read into it and haven't done their prep work.
droning ahead now, seeing if they can get a bit of a read on what SSG are doing and why they're doing it. Nade is on half health, but he's still standing, and that's the important bit, because you've got to realize how much time this is eating up. They're droning and roaming and trying to find somebody, but Nade finds Meryu on the quick swing on the window, and Papilia isn't looking much better than death. Ray still loses a drone now, and it seems like this hold is really working favors for SSG. As I said, it's become a bit of an NA staple compared to a lot of other regions, and, well, it's a hard one to find a counter. Yoshi, in the meantime, he's just going to head his way all the way down main stairs. Start too close towards point, as Rampy is still doing a bit of architecture of his own. Might be able to catch someone by a little bit of surprise here if they assume everybody else is upstairs, but he is on his own now. Yes, there's some soft destruction happening, but whether it's his or whether it's Rampy's, well, he's still got a lot left to do.
SSG taking their time, and I think Rampy, he's eyeing up the classic C4 in towards the main stairs, and there it goes! And Yoshi goes with it. A big bang for Rampy. And Nora, well, they are in a tough position now, losing out on the Capitao, who would have been one of their main pushing forces, being able to use the smoke and fire arrows alike. SSG look as if they're going to lock out yet again. Another great defense.
Well, here comes the drop from Raysil, and it's instantly almost red there as he suffers a little bit of damage, but not enough to stem his roll. However, 20 seconds on the board. You're finally getting triple open, but you've got at least 4 of the SSG guns on every single corner, and the impact goes off from Canadian. Well, this looks like the second flawless round for SSG. And the 5th of the day.
Beautiful.
Beautiful.
That is what we call Siege, in a nutshell. Just SSG having everything, the whole bait of having Nora waste so much time on that kind of top floor, then the quick rotations that pull them right back in, have 5 man on site. Nora has already ate up a lot of utility, a lot of drones, a lot of time, and then they still haven't got any kills from it. They didn't get anything from it. So overall for SSG, that is what we expect from them, and this is why I think their clubhouse is so strong, is their defensive half. And it's only going to get worse for Nora, I think.
Well, they lost the first.
Oh, Papilia.
Yeah, Papilia hasn't had.
He didn't do James Bond, but still not the best.
No, hasn't had the best day so far, unfortunately, and hasn't quite been able to show up against the, well, pretty much a consistent game from SSG today. Now, obviously, we've kind of talked about their defense and how good it is, and, well, I guess you're going to see it stretched a little bit more because that's what they do so well, is they have those tactics, they have those strategies, and they hold those angles and those positions. And then, as we saw, when they need to come back to the point, they do. They dropped, they rotated. All 5 bodies were in the end of that church, pretty much. A couple in armory and 1 in blue, but they're all watching that church door. They knew exactly where Nora were. They knew exactly how to stop them. They still had all of their base defenses left and 20 seconds in their favor. It just kind of shows that they are so good on this map, and they have the prep and the setup time, and now they've got to kind of... Nora-Rengo have to play against them. Nora-Rengo have to be able to take them. They can't do the Nora-Rengo tactic of run around the map. Most of their rounds, only 1 round so far in terms of Nora-Rengo has been won on their attacks.
Still, just to keep you updated, if you are tuning in, the Strafe app predictions, 77% of you guys on the Strafe app said SSG, 23 said Nora, and of course if you guys want to play at home, you can download Strafe. It gives you all the details on every matchup that we have here at the tournament. You can put in your prediction. Who do you think is going to win at home? You can get points, be in your own league with your friends, and really see who's the best. Yeah,
it's a really, really good app, and it's really, really fun as well, because it gives you stats about how these teams have met. And that's a good stat about this, is these teams have never met. They've never played each other. And I think that's kind of, it's always cool to kind of see these 2 teams that you know have done big bits in their region, and they've done some bits on bigger stages as well, and they finally kind of meet. And I think that's a good thing that we're still steadily getting more and more of.
So Jim Bedroom, SSG, how have they set up? Not bringing a bandit, which is generally what we expect from this particular bomb site, because the bandit tricking is very influential. Nora reading in that they don't have the bandit means they don't have to go through the whole process of opening up the castle barricades and then having to fire on in and get rid of the bandit, typically with a shield there as well. And to be fair, if SSG did bring a bandit, Nora could have got caught out very easily, because if you look at that lineup, they're not bringing Sophia, they're not bringing Ashe. That would have been really tough for Nora to really break down that bandit trick if it was there.
Yeah. It seems like Canadians just going to dig in on logistics side and try and hold the hatch. And again, this is something that they do very well. They like their defenses to be tested. Rampy hasn't suffered any pressure on the far side, has the impacts ready to trick, which we know they can do. In the meantime, Yoshi and Raysil and the third Thatcher are trying to apply some pressure. Meryu finds Canadian in logistics, though. That's the Jaeger out of the equation. And he's able to kind of swing aggressively, but there is Bosco swinging back. Hits the jump out and hits Meryu, and there's another one in the favor of SSG. Papilia gets taken out by Thinking Nade.
SSG already 2 minutes burned away, and they're sitting pretty. They don't have to move, and Nora, they're just lost, Fluke. They need some kind of map, some kind of way into breaking SSG, and they just can't find it at the moment. They're still searching for anything they can, but SSG, we know they're not a team who would give themselves away. The position they're told to sit in, they are told to sit in, or else Lycan, well, you might get told off for that one, won't you? Don't want to kind of annoy Lycan these days, do you?
I mean, you know, he's had his team up. They were, I think, obviously they've got their game first, so it's not the entire thing. They were up. They were getting breakfast as soon as breakfast opened. They were getting themselves ready, and, well, it shows that they are out to get this bread, as they like to say. 4-1 left, and there is SSG getting another notch on their belt.
Space Station defense. I don't know, man. Just SSG right now, they are in the zone.
It's good to watch as well. Like, it's good to watch from the point of seeing how a team can hold these points in what is, especially for our region of EU, a lesser seen method of holding these.
Yeah.
And it's consistently working. They're not really being, under the hugest amount of scrutiny and pressure, because Nora-Rengo, it seems like they've, again, unfortunately started to drop off a little bit. They've started to hit one of those slumps. It's been a very up and down game. You know, Yoshi to go from the kills he had before to only one. Papilia still hasn't got one.
I love the way in the scoreboard, we've seen Thinking Nade with 10 kills, yet he was at the bottom of the leaderboard in terms of score. And then I think we had somebody in 2 kills who was middle.
Support player.
Yeah, you have to get those bomb chassis spotted out.
Yeah,
don't
get
you?
the drone points. Setting themselves up with ACOX here on this top floor, and it's a fairly familiar try and hold. They've got the Maestro, they've got the ability to just keep an eye across the catwalk. And in the meantime, Nora-Rengo have the double hard destruction, have everything they need to be able to get through this point and get through this wall. But is it enough to get through SSG? Because what they are putting up in front of Nora-Rengo just seems consistently a little bit too high to pop over.
10 seconds remaining.
So, cash now up for SSG. Of course, that dreaded bar in the stockroom. Nobody really wants to touch that. Fluke, do they, with a 10-foot pole?
I mean, no.
Yeah, just think about it simply. You were going to give an argument, and then you realized, hold on a minute.
Well, what I was about to say was, if you think of every single comp map, it might be the least picked point, potentially. Out of all the options of being able to pick, I couldn't, because I'm trying to think of other maps and other points. So if you're on border,
yeah, I'm running the numbers right now. I'm crunching it.
Yeah, you'll occasionally see both on the bottom. We'll have to ask Ace afterwards. He'll know this. He'll be like, this is the least picked site across all of them, across the entire siege thing. But it's, the amount of times I've seen
maybe
it. Maybe
cafe, mining, and dining?
Even then, I feel like, even in the short space
I've
of
still
time,
seen one.
I've still seen it more than I've seen open. On this.
I
Even
think you're right
open
about
on
that
bank, I've seen more.
Yeah. I think I'm just running for numbers. I think every map, just bar this one. Even Villa, living room, we've seen that.
Yeah,
we've seen that.
I would love to see the stats on how little across every single region everybody goes no.
So SSG, they're looking to play a little bit more flexible. They have roamers. Canadian, he's over in Strip Club, and Rampy playing below in towards the lounge, I think, just to give them that little bit more security factor to alleviate any pressure that the guy in Catwalk may be facing. And it's just a bit of a surprise angle. Sometimes we've seen guys in the motorcycle just pop off with an easy 2 kills, where really the guys walking in towards the garage, they're looking up in the Catwalk. They're not looking below. It happens.
Well, Mary's got a bit of pace with the buck, and the return fire comes almost instantaneously. Canadian is rotated round and finds the diffuser carrier, looks for the second. Where was the information? Canadian with a double. Papilia still on 0 kills and still unable to make a mark. Canadian makes every mark possible. Finds the triple as Yoshi finally ends the run of the man.
You can take the boy out of EG. You can't take his EJ plays away from them, though, can you, Fluke? You can't take it away from Canadian. Oh my, Nora! Communication! Gone. Absolutely gone. Their heads are nowhere to be seen. Racel, Yoshi, what can you do? Can you muster up the courage? No, you can't. The LMG fires through faults. Still just appearing out of nowhere. The man in the LMG, he has been a mighty force. And SSG right now, look, they're an airplane. They're zooming.
They are zooming so high, so fast, and it seems like Nora they're completely shattered by everything that is going on, and SSG lock it off. One more body and one more round is all they need to find their way through to the next set of games in the semi-finals / double elim, I'm going to say.
One round for SSG. It's all they need, and I think they're going to do it. If I was a betting man, which I'm not, I'm not a betting man.
But if you were?
If I was, I would throw everything on SSG right now.
I mean, the third round was where things picked up for Nora-Rengo through some pretty impressive clutch moments. However, as we said before, today they've only taken one round on their attacks. Pabilia hasn't found a body at all yet.
0-9. Have we seen a worser kill death in a game before?
Worse?
I don't think I've ever seen a 0-10. Have you ever seen a 0-10? Has anyone seen a 0-10 before in a competitive match?
Hey, there's still a round. And
Still
I've
around.
said, Nora-Rengo have pulled it back by doing unbelievable things. Maybe this is it. Maybe this is the dream shot. Maybe this is the unbelievability that we are about to see come through, or it could be the worst thing you've ever seen. Setting themselves up for this basement and setting themselves up for a situation where they're going to do the aggressive roam that we've seen before. The castle to keep control of the open area. There's the Mozzie and there's the Vigil back on the board as well. Canadian flying higher. Well, then probably he's often flown recently and able to keep this roll going.
10 seconds remaining.
So basement last time for SSG, it was flawless. And that is pretty much what their defense has been the entire day, I reckon. It has been just time after time, SSG on their defense, impeccable, impenetrable. Perhaps then Nora on their attacks, perhaps that's where their weak points came from, is that they're just perhaps slacking on their attacking half of things. And that happens to teams, you know, attack is always a hard part. That's where you really win your rounds. That's where you win your matches, is if you can attack.
Well, the two maps we've seen, obviously, Bank and Clubhouse, and not just any Clubhouse, but an SSG Clubhouse, we know they can defend it well. We know they can keep control. This has generally been a match that the attack is where Nora might be able to find ground, and so far, they haven't been able to find much. They're going for this top floor clear, but the Thatcher doesn't catch the mute jammer, and that is a pretty big oopsie there. So they're going to have to use a second one, and they still have to get through hatches, have to get through church wall, have to get through so much more than just thinking nade on this top floor. But they still got to get it done.
Canadian inside of bar by himself playing the Vigil. It means he can avoid those drones the best that he can, but still he has some roamers assisting him. You have Rampy in towards that top floor playing the hatch that can drop down in towards bar as well, and he will take that dive. And again for SSG, whenever they start to feel pressured, they just go back into the hole that is their bomb site.
And that's one of the things we said before, is they're so good at that collapse. Sometimes teams get a bit too aggro. They over-rotate, overextend, and just overshoot the mark and find themselves losing the round. But they're a team that can do this. They pull back from the top floor down one. They've got a body. They're in a position. They wide swing and find another nade with the double kill on those main stairs. And now he just falls back to point. He's done the damage. He's taken care of a Buck and a Jackal. What else does he need to do at this point?
SSG closing that door. They're about to shut it. Can Nora respond? Doesn't look to be. Canadian. The K1A lands its shots. Mavy's over towards that blue, but still so many guns pointed towards the direction. Peeking left, right, and center. Pabilia in the middle. A flawless for SSG. They move on. They knock out Nora. And, well, another day in the office, I think, for Spacestation.
When they do it with style, finesse, grace, and a whole load of bodies and a huge amount of flawlesses. Exceptional and unbelievable play there from SSG. maybe this is the tournament. Maybe this is the time where they can find their way past the worry that the general main stage has proven them.
This could be it for SSG. You know, we kind of talked about that for SSG, it was a big tournament. Big tournament for them to really redeem themselves, not being able to make it in towards Pro League because of draws and stuff like that happened, but still, that's a big tone setter for SSG, and well, we know that they will now go ahead and face against G2 or MIBR in the next round, but still, look, a lot of stuff to talk about. I don't think we're going to be the ones to do that, are we?
No, not good with words, me struggle. Please help, Analyst Desk, break that down for us if you would be so kind.